President Ramnath Kovind headed the committee and submitted a report on One Nation, One Poll to President Draupadi Murmu today. The committee recommended that municipality and panchayat elections should be held within 100 days of the Lok Sabha and state elections. The report also recommended that the government take a quote-unquote one-time transitory measure which would require the union government to identify an appointed date immediately after a Lok Sabha election, and all state assemblies that go to poll after the said date would have their terms expire with the parliament as well. Mr. Himanshu Bhatt, let's also in fact listen into some reactions, Mr. Bhatt, before we come and take your perspective on this.
The Honourable former President of India, Ramnath Kovind and the panel has given its recommendation suggesting one nation, one poll. This should be welcomed. In India, we used to have simultaneous elections right up to 1967. So there is no scope to say that it's not something that can happen in the country. In any case, our Honourable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has been speaking about it on several occasions. There is much to benefit from one nation, one poll. First, the country does not, or the state does not go into repeated election modes. When you are in election mode, the entire administrative machinery, the political machinery, all of it gets involved in electioneering. Now, if it happens once in 5 years, you have an uninterrupted period to then work on the promises, govern the state or the country, and as the case may be, and also policies can be implemented non-stop. Additionally, it's also saving of resources which get into the election process again and again.
मोदी जी का मकसद क्या है? वन नेशन नो इलेक्शन, वन नेशन नो इलेक्शन, वही तो चाहते हैं, वही तो चाह रहे हैं, इसीलिए तो जा रहे हैं. मुझे 400 सीटें दीजिए, मुझे 2/3 बहुमत दीजिए, मैं संविधान बदलूं. संविधान बदलने का उनसे क्या फायदा मिलेगा? वन नेशन नो इलेक्शन.
देखिए, वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन से देश को भारी फायदा होने वाला है. तमाम, एक तो सरकारी धन का जो दुरुपयोग होता है या धन ज़्यादा खर्चा होता है समय समय पर इलेक्शन पर, वो तो बचेगा ही. लेकिन जो आचार संहिता के कारण जो डेवलपमेंट के काम रुक जाते हैं, विकास अवरुद्ध हो जाता है, उस विकास को भी गति मिलेगी. और मैं समझता हूं कि अगर ऐसा हो जाए, और विपक्ष ऐसा, मैंने तो ये देखा कि पर्सनल किससे बात करो तो वो कुछ और बोलते हैं, और जब पॉलिटिकल निर्णय की बात आती है तो उसमें पॉलिटिक्स उनको लगता है कि यार इसका श्रेय तो मोदी जी को मिल जाएगा. तो श्रेय की लड़ाई छोड़ करके और देश के हित में इसके बारे में विचार करना चाहिए. लेकिन वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन ये देश के लिए जरूरी है.
All right, Mr. Himanshu Bhatt, senior journalist with us on the program still. Mr. Bhatt, one nation, one poll. You know, it doesn't only make sense in terms of the effort which is spent in having these elections span over years and years before and after the Lok Sabha elections, but you also have to think of, the economic consequences that arranging and paying for these elections has on the exchequer, isn't it?
Huge cost, huge burden on the exchequer. An election costs you nearly 10,000 crores. And just imagine, when you have 5 years span, you have 3 different elections: central election, state election, and local body election. All 3, because of that code of conduct, stalls all your developmental and infrastructural developmental projects for nearly 3 to 4 months in a year. What is the cost that nation will suffer because of that? On top of that, you have a lot of human resources that are being put in when an election takes place in a state or a center. But if you have one election, one state, or one election in the country for all 3 at a time, then what will happen is, the voter has matured out. We used to have that before 1967. And now, to bring it back, there's nothing wrong. Because people know whom to vote for state, whom to vote for a local body, and whom to vote for center. People are very, very sure and correct about it. So, it's crying wolf again, saying that, Modi doesn't want this and Modi doesn't want that, and he wants to have 2/3 majorities, and someone was saying from the opposition. This is going to happen because people are going to bicker. Because, the regional parties are going to find that, they think that they are going to be the losers in this. National parties will benefit. But that is not the case. Actually, that's something like, casting aspersion on your voters, on your own voters. Voters are smart enough these days to understand what he needs, where he needs whom. And that one nation, one election is very, 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 very the time is ripe for that to come in, to save time, to save money, and keep on going on the path of development. Because if we want to become a developed economy and become third largest economy by 2029, 2030, we have to adopt certain, measures, and we have to take certain measures by which you don't lose work hours.
But do you think that the opposition will try to politicize this as well? There's a new government in Karnataka, there's a new government in Telangana. If elections are held before, their tenure of 5 years is over, they're obviously going to claim that this is advantage BJP.
That will happen in both cases, both sides, In some places, there will be BJP government that will get extended, but in some cases, their tenure will be curtailed also. So that is going to happen anyway. But the opposition will cry wolf only because, they think that, basically this will benefit national parties. If you see the 341-page report, it is stated very, very clearly.
All right.
Mr.
Bhatt, appreciate you joining us, sir.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.